The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi there, I'm Norm,
Hi there, I'm Jeff.
and today we want you to be a part of our family.
Yeah, our family. And you can leave anytime you want, but you
No, you
probably don't
can't.
want to.
No, you can't.
Actually, cults always give you that option, making you feel safe.
They do,
Yeah.
but they won't let you leave.
They won't let
They
you
won't
leave.
let you, and that's why today we're talking about cults, crazy cults. So we've got some crazy cult facts, and of course, Luigi Saracino will be here to give us his take on cults. Can't wait to see that. Gonna laugh a lot. And for our stupidness, we've got some really stupid cults that shouldn't really exist, but they do because, as you know, Jeff, people are stupid.
Yeah, some people, anyways.
Some people.
Some people are really smart.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get into more of that as we go along. Jeff, why don't you take us to our very first segmento?
Okay, it's time for some Meltdown fun facts.
All right, so we've got for you today the 10 craziest cults you've never heard of. Maybe you have heard of some of them, I don't know. But we're going to begin with our first one called the Aetherius Society. Founded in the mid-1950s by a former British taxi driver, Aetherius is a New Age religion whose belief systems are built around the idea that a series of cosmic masters, mostly from Venus and Saturn, control the fate of humanity. Additionally, they focus heavily on prayer and spiritually charging the earth to make way for the next master, a messianic figure who will descend to earth in a flying saucer armed with magic more powerful than the combined materialistic might of all the armies. So there you go. If you want to be a part of that cult, just call 1-800-I'm-Gullible. Our second, have you ever heard of that one, by the way?
No, I haven't.
No, okay. Our second one is called Hono Hana Sampogyo. This modern Japanese sect is often referred to as the foot reading cult, based on the claim that its founder, who also claimed to be the reincarnation of both Jesus Christ and Buddha, could diagnose followers' problems by simply examining their feet, and that they would die if they weren't examined appropriately. According to his methods, traits like short toes indicated a short temper, and fat toes meant your life would be filled with good fortune. However, the whole ruse unraveled when followers fought back against the steep $900 fee he charged for each inspection. There you go.
Yeah, the medical profession, it's so expensive these days.
Well,
Except in countries with socialized
and
medicine.
I bet OHIP doesn't cover that kind of thing.
No hip for feet reading.
No hip for you. No hip for you. All right, we go on to our third crazy cult, Chen Tao. Otherwise known as the True Way cult, Chen Tao was formed by a former professor who was clearly insane. His beliefs included that the universe is 4.5 trillion years old, our solar system was created by a nuclear war, we each have 3 souls, and that humanity has been rescued on 5 different occasions by God descending in a flying saucer. However, the 160-member group essentially disbanded after a failed prophecy in 1998 when founder Ho Ming Chen predicted God would appear on a single TV channel in North America, whether or not you had cable, at 12:01 a.m. on March 31st.
Much as he should have watched TCM or maybe the baseball game. No, anyway, God's on channel 15.
We're supposed to take over all the channels, you see. It's one of those interrupted broadcasts,
see.
you know.
So
Hey, this is God.
So you're changing the channel, you're flipping the dial, which used to happen
Yeah,
with TVs.
and it wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter what channel you're on. There's God in prime time. Although it was, midnight, so not really prime time.
God is streaming, to use a modern term.
Here's one that I've heard of, and I think you've probably heard of it as well, the Order of the Solar Temple.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's actually been things, movies and TV shows made about this. This secret society's beliefs and activities involved a mix of early Christianity, UFOs, New Age philosophy, and Freemason rituals. They were a mostly peaceful organization with some unconventional beliefs. For example, death is only an illusion and life continues on other planets. Until the infant son of its members was sacrificed in one of the group's lodges because he was believed to be the Antichrist. Shortly after, a number of people in the inner circle committed mass suicide, and others were found mysteriously shot or smothered to death, all dressed in their ceremonial robes.
Mysteriously. I don't think there's anything mysterious about how they died. I mean, it's sad, but...
Yeah, we'll all drink the Kool-Aid at the same time.
Look,
Yeah,
all these people are dead over there, and they were part of a cult.
Yeah, I wonder
how
what
did they
happened
die?
there.
They are.
They were probably mugged.
Right, mugged.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, I think most people, right? Most people have enough sense to stay away from things like this, and we all get red flags, right? When you're in situations that just seem a little bit off, trust your instinct on that. Here's another one called the Freedomites. And originally formed in Saskatchewan in 1902 after a fracturing of different religious groups who had fled Russia to escape persecution, the Freedomites insist on 3 different things: communal living, nudity, and anarchy. They got me there.
There's nothing better than a nude anarchist.
That's right, yeah. And for that reason alone, I think I'd probably get involved in this one.
Down with pants.
They became most famous for their all-nude public demonstrations to show opposition to the material tendencies of society, and in the 20s and 30s even burned and bombed a whole slew of public buildings, while naked, of course, to show their disdain for the government. I don't know, a bunch of naked people bombing things. I can't even picture that. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, where do you hide your lighter?
Exactly. Yeah.
If it's one of those bombs, I'm thinking back in the 30s where they had fuses for everything, not detonators. But who knows? Who do I know? Even the detonators. Where do you hide those if you're naked?
Yeah, you can't conceal a weapon if you're naked. Well, you can.
You can. You can, Jeff.
He's walking kind of funny there.
Yeah, kind of funny.
I think he's walking because he's got a concealed weapon. You know where.
All right, here's another one. The movement for the restoration of the 10 Commandments. A breakaway movement from the Roman Catholic Church, the movement was founded in the late 80s in Uganda and revolved around the strict adherence to the 10 Commandments as a means of avoiding damnation in the apocalypse. Among the odder tenets were weekly fasts and the outlawing of both soap and sex. The sect began to unravel after the world failed to end at the start of the new millennium, as leaders predicted, resulting in a mass murder involving a series of poisonings, stabbings, and a massive church fire. You getting a pattern here?
Yeah.
They make a prediction, the prediction doesn't happen, and everybody dies. It's like people go, hey, wait a second, wasn't the world supposed to end like 15 minutes ago? And the leader's starting to scramble, right? Okay, yeah, you guys are going to leave it, you're all dying.
It makes me think of Y2K, and then when it became New Year's Day in
Oh
New
my
Zealand,
God.
and people said, well, nothing crazy is happening in New Zealand, so I guess we're safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that they put in the, just in case, but it's,
But seriously, I mean, everything was just supposed to be incredibly crazy, and that was, 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago. Insoon. All right, here we go. Here's one called Shinrikyo. Okay? Combining extreme and idiosyncratic interpretations of religions ranging from Buddhism to Christianity, was founded in 1984 and considered fairly controversial from the beginning for its doomsday prophecies, which involved a Third World War instigated by the U.S. Then, things got violent. It was discovered that they engaged in outrageously dangerous initiation practices and were murdering members who tried to leave the organization. The group was officially designated a terrorist group after they were found responsible for a coordinated sarin gas attack on 5 trains in the Tokyo subway system that killed 13 and affected more than 1,000 other commuters in 1995. So there you go. There's another example of, Just another example of you cannot leave. You cannot leave.
You can at any time you like, but you may never leave.
That's right. Yes.
Hotel California, is that in?
No, it's not a cult. I'm
not implying that the Eagles are cult-like, because they're not. Well, they have a cult following.
They have a cult following. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
For many years, because they're very talented.
That's right.
But they're not a cult.
Yeah. They just have a cult following. So
exactly. There's a difference.
Yeah. So they've instigated a cult. They've started this cult. All right. Here's the number 8, the creativity movement.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Well, let's see how nice it is.
Probably not very nice, but it sounds nice.
It sounds nice. Based in Illinois, creativity was officially formed in 1973 to unite white people through a common racial religion.
Okay, that's not nice.
While much of their belief systems involves a naturalistic philosophy and abiding by an extremely healthy lifestyle, their supreme value is that what is good for white people is the highest good. And it's exactly the type of thinking that has earned them a place on the list of neo-Nazi organizations by the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Definitely not nice.
Yeah.
Definitely evil.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
We did. At
Nice
first,
name.
you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh.
Ooh, creativity. Oh,
creativity.
Artsy.
You're bigots. Forget it. Walk away, bigots. That's what I say. Walk away.
Yeah. Walk away, bigots.
Walk away, bigots. Yeah. Please do not enter my life. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
I got no room for bigotry, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think
that's been established.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Here's another one. John Frum.
John Frum.
Founded on the island of Tanna in the South Pacific, this fascinating cult revolves around the image of an American World War II serviceman who is thought to bring wealth and prosperity to the isolated island. It originated in the early 40s when 300,000 American troops were stationed in the area and armed with tons of supplies and cargo related to their mission. The troops eventually left, along with much of their gear, but the followers of John Frum held out hope that they'd return, building symbolic landing strips to encourage other American planes to stop by and bring goods. That reminds me of The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Right.
That whole thing is a Coke bottle falling from the sky, and oh my God, it's got to be a religious icon or mean something. And sometimes people, the things that just mean what they are.
A potato chip that looks like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, I mean, even though they sell Virgin Mary potato chips.
Do they really?
No. And they all look like the Virgin Mary. They've never been bitten into before. Get it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. That's funny.
Now, this one I found really interesting, and I've heard of this one before. It's realism. Okay? Founded in 1974 by the French race car driver Claude Vorilhon, realism teaches that human life was created intentionally by a bunch of aliens who later sent messengers in human form to check in on things, including Jesus and Buddha. On the surface, their values are quite agreeable, considering they advocate world peace, sharing, democracy, nonviolence, and a liberal view of sexuality. But they most certainly have their strange side. For instance, in the late 90s, the organization founded a cloning company and made the bold claim, with zero scientific proof, that it actually cloned a human in 2000. Jeff, why don't you take us to our next segment? We've got a very funny guy waiting in the wings, waiting to give us his take on cults.
Our very funny guy is Lou.
Our very funny guy. Yes, and what is the name of
time for a very
segment?
funny guy, and this segment is called A Meltdown Minute with Lou.
Hi. This week, when Norm and Jeff sent me the categories, this one really stuck out for me because the way they wrote it was crazy cults. Crazy cults, as opposed to the regular run-of-the-mill cults. Here's what I don't get about cults. How did people not see it coming a little bit? Like, if you've got a friend who calls you and he's like, hey, dude, I want you to read my manifesto. You know what I'm saying? That's a tip-off, probably, I'm thinking. Or if he says to you, I bought a couple of acres for my compound. That's when you go, that's not a guy that I want to hang out with. It's just amazing because you never see a cult leader who's actually a good-looking guy, for example. David Koresh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with David Koresh? But he played guitar. He was like the Pied Piper of crazy, David Koresh. Koresh, also the sound a cymbal makes at an AC/DC show. Cults are bad.
Thank you very much, Lou. And now it's time for some Meltdown stupidness.
Okay, coming right at you for our stupid stupidness today, the top 8 dumbest cults in the world.
All right.
We start with the universe people.
Okay.
As was already mentioned, there are crazy and dumb cults all over the world, and Europe is no different, as it is home to some wacky ones, including the cult known as the Universe People, a group that also goes by the name Cosmic People of Light Powers. This cult calls the Czech Republic its home, and they have been around since the late 1990s, with Ivo A. Benda serving as its leader. And they believe in the existence of alien civilizations who have been in contact with Benda and others since 1977. This group is considered to be the most distinctive UFO cult in the Czech Republic, and for good reasons, considering that they believe in a humanoid alien named Ashtar Sharan, who possesses a fleet of 10 million spaceships which orbit our planet and defend it from an evil alien race of lizard men called the Saurians, who want to fill our hearts with evil, and for those followers who are good, they get brought onto one of these ships and are transported to another dimension to live.
Sounds like an episode of Buck Rogers.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's probably how it got started, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here's one called the Remnant Fellowship. A lot of people decide to go on diets in order to make themselves skinnier and healthier, and normally you would not think about religion while dieting, but there are some cults out there which combine the two. One of these cults is known as the Remnant Fellowship, which was founded in 1999 in Tennessee by its leader, Gwen Shamblin, a person who you might be surprised to know is not a big fan of overweight people. Shamblin has made it clear in her own words that God hates those who are overweight, so much so that if you are even a bit chubby, St. Peter will not allow you to pass through the pearly gates, even if you were a saint while you were alive. Yeah. You would have to be a really gullible person to believe that God would care about how fat or skinny you are when it comes to getting into heaven. But what is even stupider is the fact that this is not even the dumbest cult associated with food that will be appearing on any list. But it's certainly, wow.
Sorry.
Anyway, here's a dumb cult called The Body. With this entry, we return to the United States, where in Attleboro, Massachusetts, we have the cult known as The Body, which is more commonly referred to as the Attleboro cult. This group is a strict sect of Christians who were led by a man named Roland Robideau, and who operated out of a duplex apartment building. The Body is incredibly dumb because of the fact that their belief required them to denounce all aspects of mainstream society, aspects which included things like education, banking, government, entertainment, science, and medicine. With that being said, members of this cult were not even able to wear glasses or see a doctor if they got sick, which is where the true stupidity of this cult came into play, as children started to get sick and die from easily treated illnesses as a result of their belief, which is why the government intervened and caused most of the group to disband. And, you know, that's not the only cult or religion that believes, you know, that you shouldn't have any kind of medical intervention. And that's really unfortunate. I mean, you know, if anyone believes in religion and believes that, you know, everything happens for a reason, then perhaps the medical profession was created for a reason. Maybe it's part of what you are, not against what you are.
I think, though, if you're an adult, you should have the right to choose. I think children, you should be, as a parent or guardian, you should be compelled to provide medical treatment for your children.
You should be.
As an adult, I don't know. I think if you have the right to say, I'm not going to treat myself, I don't know. I think...
Hey, that's fine, too. But you should have the option. And
should have the option.
These people don't have the option.
Yes, of course. Yes, you should have the option.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here's one that just sounds good to begin with. The Church of Euthanasia.
Wow. You know what they're about.
You know what their mandate is. Yeah. Whether you believe it or not, the Earth is suffering from human overpopulation, as there are just too many of us for the planet to sustain, which is why countries like China at one point made it a law for couples to only have a single child. Overpopulation is indeed a serious issue, but for the Church of Euthanasia, it is the only issue that matters. And based on their name, you can deduce how exactly they want overpopulation to be solved. This group was founded in Boston by a man named Chris Corda, and their goal is to reduce the world's population in order to restore balance. by encouraging people to have abortions and perform sodomy. Those are their tamed methods, though, as they also encourage people to reduce the human population through cannibalism and suicide. And they even offered instructions on their website about how to commit suicide, which led to several lawsuits from grieving families. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, well, that's not a very happy cult.
Oh, I don't think
That's rather depressing.
I don't think they profess themselves to be a happy
No,
cult. I don't
apparently
think
they
their
don't.
TV commercials have
No.
bouncing rabbits and
No,
stuff.
I don't think they're about that at all.
No.
They're about death, apparently.
And pretty much all death, as hence the name, Church of Euthanasia.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean young people.
In Asia.
In
no,
Asia.
We know what it means.
Here's one that I think we probably all have heard of. It's called Heaven's Gate.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. The biggest threat associated with cults is the possibility that the group will come to an end with every single member killing themselves in a mass suicide. And one of the most recent and famous examples of this type of mass suicide was performed by members of the Heaven's Gate cult. This group was formed back in 1974 and went on to be based in San Diego, California, where it was led by Marshall Applewhite. And this UFO-based religion believed that the Earth was going to be wiped clean of all human life by 1997. According to their leader, the human body only served as a vessel which contained your true self, and that the only way to survive at the end of the world was to kill yourself, so that your true self could be transported to a spaceship which was traveling alongside the Hale-Bopp comet. This mass suicide claimed the lives of 39 people, and they all died by eating poisoned pudding, while all the men, for some reason, needed to be castrated. Ouch.
Yeah, castration, that's another...
I don't even want to think of that. There was an episode of The Sopranos where they were going to do that to someone, and I couldn't watch. I mean, I could watch the episode. I just had to close my eyes because I didn't know what they were going to show. Obviously, they weren't going to show that, but I even the thought of it, get away from that. Yeah. That's my area. Fuck off.
Unix. Not good.
You mean Linux?
Linux.
Yeah, there's so many people that use Linux. I don't understand that. They say it's a clean operating system.
What, Unix?
Yeah.
Bring one over, they'll clean your house. They're not going to be thinking about sex.
No, that's for sure. Here's an interesting one called breatharianism. No? Breath it? Read it? Breatharianism? That's it. Here we go. Here's an interesting one called breatharianism. Okay? In order for us to live a normal and healthy life, our bodies need to consume 3 things on a daily basis, and those things are food, water, and oxygen. But there are cults out there who do not believe that to be the case. Breatharianism is a belief that draws some of its inspiration from yoga and dictates that humans do not need to eat food or drink fluids to live, that our bodies are perfectly capable of surviving through just breathing air. Obviously, this way of thinking is incredibly stupid, so stupid, in fact, that the leader of this group, who was an Australian woman who liked to be called Jasmuheen, did not even follow her own beliefs. As it turns out, 3 members of the group surprisingly died as a result of starvation, all while Jasmuheen would go off and eat actual food. Can you imagine that?
You walk in, she's got French fries in her
Yeah,
mouth.
Big Mac wedged in her face. I'm not doing anything. I swear to God, it attacked me. Oh boy. Can you believe that? Yeah. I cannot believe that. All right. Here is another dumb cult, the Fellowship of Friends. Now, again, sounds nice, right? Mm-hmm. In most cases, cults are led by individuals who claim that they are able to communicate with either beings from another world or with God. But in the case of the Fellowship of Friends, their leader claimed to communicate with people who are long dead. Their leader is named Robert Earl Burton, and he claimed to be in communication with a myriad historical figures such as founding father Benjamin Franklin and the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. And it was with this gift that he was able to attract followers. What is very interesting about this group is the fact that the leader gets to have an absurd amount of fun, as every single member of this cult is required to offer sexual favors to Burton if they want to get into heaven. This cult currently has a few hundred followers, which is surprising considering that Burton incorrectly predicted a world-ending nuclear war in 2006. You know, if I was going to start a cult, Jeff, right? I'm not stupid. If I was going to start a cult, I would make sure that's one of the things. All right, yes, I am your gateway into the afterlife. Through sex. Through sex. More sex you give me, the easier it's going to be for you to get through that hole into the afterlife.
Through that hole.
Yeah, because there's a very small hole to the afterlife. The more sex that you have with me, the bigger the hole gets, the better your chances. And then if they stopped having sex with me, I'd say that hole is actually getting smaller.
Wow.
Just FYI.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
how that works.
time for a few favors, if you know what I mean. All right, our very last dumb cult is called New Wabianism. Okay?
Wabianism.
Yeah. At the number 1 spot on this list, we have New Wabianism, which is the last cult to be associated with aliens, and this cult, which is located in Putnam County, Georgia, was founded by American writer and musician Dwight York. Before starting this religion, York was heavily involved with Black Islam during the 1960s, and as the years went by and he studied cosmology, he created his own belief, which was centered around conspiracy theories, aliens, and the faith of the ancient Egyptians. As a writer, York produced hundreds of pamphlets which covered a wide variety of subjects, but in basically all of them, he made it clear that he was from another planet called Rizq, where he worked as a master teacher. And this extraterrestrial scholar ended up getting arrested for molesting children in the early 2000s, an arrest for which some reason was not enough to cause all of his followers to abandon him and the faith. Isn't that interesting that people can believe so much in someone, that they can run roughshod and do all kinds of horrible things and they'll still follow them? Mm-hmm. And that, folks, that's a sign that this cult is working.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right. I just dropped my glasses. Don't step on my glasses.
I won't.
Jeff was going to step on them, so I picked them up. Because Jeff, off camera, Jeff is really a nice guy. Off camera, he is so mean. He'll step on my glasses.
Yeah, just yours though.
Just mine. He's got a thing about my glasses. I don't know. It's because I have so many pairs. Next week, Jeffrey, you're looking forward to this?
Oh yes.
I hope you are.
Oh yes, I am definitely.
Next week, Lou Saracino will be back. In the middle here somewhere. Somewhere we're going to fit Lou in here.
We're going to fit him on. He's so small.
He's so tiny.
We can put him on our shoulders.
Tiny. Maybe I'll put him in my pocket. But Lou Saracino will join us live on the program while we're shooting this. And it's going to be great because we are going to launch another barrage of questions toward Jeff all about Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers cartoons. Now, Jeff, I'm not going to say that the last time was easy because it wasn't. There were a lot of questions. I mean, I didn't know the answer to any of them, but you're a Warner Brothers dictionary. But this time, all right, I went to a different source. I didn't just go to a trivia site, my friend. I went to a Warner Brothers fact-based blog of all kinds of facts. And that's what's really cool is you can go through these things and find and pick out all the different kind of little questions you want to ask, right?
So you're going to ask who was the original voice of Porky Pig?
That might be one of them. Just shut up and wait till next week.
All right.
But
because it wasn't Meltdown.
We've got 40 questions to hurl at you. 40. And I still think you're going to show us up and you're going to do a good job. But that's next week on our finale episode of The Meltdown. I hope you join us for that. You don't want to miss it. When Lou's here, it's always a blast. Anyway, for this particular episode, I'm Norm.
And I'm Jeff.
And this has been The Meltdown. We'll see you next week.